Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Coffee with Carl. I'm your host, Carl Zoellner. I am one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors, and I wanted to use one of these episodes to talk a little bit about a paradigm shift and something interesting we offer as one of our classes here at Anderson called Infinity Investing. I'm not going to go into once again, I'm not going to go real granular with all the details here, but I think it's something I've taken a lot of personal benefit out of, and I wanted to take take a opportunity to make sure I talk to the folks that watch Coffee with Carl and talk to them a little bit about it so that we sort of look at future planning here. Now, for those of you like myself who do investments, we're taught when we start looking at net worth to consider all of our assets when we figure that number out. Infinity investing teaches us to look differently at the things we own. So, for instance, if I'm figuring net worth for most people, we'll actually take the value of your, say, residence, right? Well, most of us out there are going to have mortgages on those residents. So what infinity investing teaches us is if it's costing us money on a monthly or annual basis, then it's actually an expense or a liability versus something that benefits us. So as the industry teaches us, things we own actually have value, and we're relying on things like equity. Infinity investing teaches us to look at expenses versus income with those very strict definitions, meaning if it pays you, it feeds you. If it's an expense that requires money, it's bleeding you. So when we start looking at that infinity income, what we're looking at is generating income from passive sources. So when we talk about passive sources of income, this is how all the rich people in the world invest most of their money or build things that generate this type of income. It's rent, royalties, dividends, and other types of passive income that may fall under those categories. Now, when we talk about that, so when we start figuring that number, when we talk about infinity investing, we start looking at how many passive investments we need to float us to that average cost of the number it costs us to live. So when I first figured it, when I took the infinity investing class, my monthly number was I needed $4,700 in passive investments paying me $4,700 a month before it's no longer required for me to work. If my passive income is generating less than $4,700 a month, then I haven't hit infinity. Once my investments have reached that $4,700 a month, that means I could be living the life I'm currently living now, except work now becomes an option, meaning my investments are paying for my average daily living. So many of us out there actually do make good money, but we're not investing in the right types of assets or in the right places in order to offset what we need from an active business by passive investments. Infinity teaches us to focus on investing in those different types of investments so that we can build that infinity income to a place where we're at an even point where it doesn't matter if we, say, have a W-2 job and lose it. So by gaining that focus, we gain a roadmap to teach us how to get to financial independence, as well as once we've hit that infinity number, now every investment we pick up now it's just gravy. Now, once we've hit that infinity number and we're building up, we start to be able to recognize that we can start picking up some of those wants we want to pick up. So, that new truck I'm eyeballing, I'll need to pick up, a few infinity investments or a few passive income generating investments in order to pay for that truck. But once I do, it pays for itself, and I don't have to worry about, well, what if my income dips or I have, peaks and valleys in my income? My passive investments are taking care of that for me. So, like I said, this today was kind of a special episode of Coffee with Carl because I get to talk about something or another thing that's sort of near and dear to my heart as I went through the class and found it incredibly valuable, and I know my infinity number is getting closer and closer every single day. So it's an exciting place for myself and my wife to be at, and I wanted to share something that we don't really talk about all that much, but we do offer, and I think there's incredible value there to attending that class. I tend to go to most of those, so if you want to ever come meet me, or I'll see you in person there or at most of the other classes we teach. But for now, thanks for joining me again for another Coffee with Carl, and I look forward to catching you all next episode. As always, if you want more information and you are a client, you know how to get a hold of us. If you're not yet a client, I encourage you to call us and have your initial consult, or certainly attend one of our classes. Always love seeing new faces and always making the family bigger. Thanks. Catch you on the next episode.